Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the another part of the batch Apex in which we will learn how to make our batch class as a stateful, and also we will understand what is async Apex job. Ideally, batch class is stateless, and the reason is every batch or chunk of data executes with fresh governor limit. But think about a scenario where you have a large number of data, let's say the 5 lakh of data you have, and you have to identify how many records has been successfully processed in your batch class. What are those records which have a problem and which are unable to the execute or process in your batch class? So for this we have to make it as a stateful, and that is very simple. To make a batch class as a stateful, you just have to use database.stateful. Now I will show you how and will provide you the working code. I will be also using the same example in which we have learned our first batch class, also an example to fetch the desired data from a field from a string. But before that, let us understand what is database.stateful and how it is going to help us. Let's say the scenario is, as I told you, that you have the 5 lakhs of data, and in the 5 lakhs of data you want to check that what are the records which have some problem and unable to execute in your batch class. Now for this, you try to make an integer type data unable to process, and you will give the value 0. But if you're not using the database or stateful in your batch class, then it will be each time the count will become 0 as soon as your, let's say for example, your batch class, or you can say a chunk, a chunk of first chunk of records executed, and in this chunk of record 2 records are unable to process due to some reason. Now as soon as this chunk of records will your process, the execute method will execute the next chunk of the record. Then the count of this variable will again start from 0, which ideally should be, should start from 2, because 2 records we have found that, the 2 records have some problem in the execution. To rectify this problem, we have to make our batch class stateful. Now let's see in a practical example that actually how we can write our code, and I will be providing you the complete the running code including the test class in a link of the video. But let me show you how the stateful help us to identify the records, process the count of the record, or any such scenario where you need to maintain the state of the data. So let's go into the Salesforce. So first of all, I am executing this query to show you what is the current data we have in the opportunity object, and particularly in these fields. So all the stage name is, all the records have the stage name as qualification. We have the data in the multi-currency, but this field is blank. Now I'm using the same example in which the last example in which we have discussed to fetch the data after the USD and to put into the this particular field USD __ C. If you have not seen that video, you can find out in my channel in the playlist. And also the stage name will be changed to a different stage name. So let me show you. So this is my trigger. From the trigger, I'm calling my batch class, and the condition is when the stage name will be changed. Here I'm putting the batch size as 10, and then my batch class will be executed, or you can say my batch class will be called. I'm adding the database.stateful here. I am making 2 variables of integer type. One is record process 0, record failed 0. That is also with the initial value 0. Now a list of opportunity, and this list will be storing all the opportunities which has been successfully processed. Now what is the logic behind, or what is the code behind? So in the start method, I am querying all the opportunities, and since I am making a batch size as 10, so each time my record, the parameter of the execute method will get the 10 records, and then my logic to break the string, and after that I have entered that if let me show you. So this is my entire logic to break the string and get the value after the whatever the value we have after USD from this multi-currency field. Then we are storing is into the USD __ C to check whether if now understand sorry, now understand, if we are getting the value in the USD __ C, that means our record has processed successfully. So I am the list which I have created above, this one, I'm adding the the opportunity in this list, as well as the record process. I am adding +1 in that particular the variable. So let's say the first, right now is 0. So the first value when I will be adding, when the first value will be processed successfully, so it will become the 1. If the second record will also process successfully, then it will become 2, and simultaneously the successful record will be, they will be added into a list. Now, if somehow my USD underscore underscore C is not getting the value, then I am adding this into a different variable of integer type, record field of integer type, and I'm making a addition of +1. So let's say first record, they got failed somehow. So the record failed value will become +1. If the second will, will have some problem, unable to execute, so it will become 2. But after this, my finish method, when all the patches will be executed, then my finish method will be called, and I am using this async apex job. Now, what is async apex job? This is an object. Object which stores the value of, it stores the records that represent a apex job to run asynchronously when resources are available. Okay, so this is an object. So I have, in the finish method, I have put the debug statement to, check the job ID and the how many records has been processed successfully. If there any record which is, the not able to process, so the count of that, and all the, the records which are successfully processed, so that you will be able to see inside this, that is stored inside the list, and that also you will be able to see, and the size of this. So let's see how it works. So now we have executed, we have changed the value of the stage name from the anonymous code block. So, it is right now in the holding stage of the Apex. It will take some time to execute, and once it will be executed, then we will be able to see the desired data and all the, the debug statements which we have intentionally provided in our code to check the value. Let me refresh it. So basically, as you are able to see, it is showing the holding. So that means that job has been submitted and is held in Apex Flex queue. So until the system resources become available, the queue job the job will be in the queue stage for processing. So they are the multiple the list cycle. The life cycle of the batch Apex. So the life cycle of the batch Apex is, first is the holding, as you have seen. That means job has been submitted and is held in Apex Flex queue until system resources will be available, or you can say will become available. The second stage is queue. Job is waiting for execution. Let me see if I can show you here. It's actually the showing the completed, but let's complete this thing as well. Then I will show you the result. Then preparing. This in the preparing means the start method of job has been invoked. This status can last for a few minutes and depend on size of batch Apex. Then processing. Job is under process. About, if you you have seen that there was a button available at the side here when it was in the holding stage. So the purpose of the abort is you can abort the job. A user can abort the job. And the sixth one is completed. Right now it's in the completed stage. So job completed with or without failure. So if you will check that the total batches is 6, batch process 6, failure is 0. So that means our batch class has processed all the records without failure. And the seventh one is failed. Job experience system failure. Okay. So these are, I mean, this is the life cycle of the batch epics. So as you see, we started with the holding. That means the system, we are waiting for the system resources, then it is queued, waiting for the execution, preparing, that means our start method has been invoked, and it is, the preparing the data, which will be passed to the, the execute method, then processing, that means it is under the process. Abort, you can, the user can, you can abort a job at any time. Completed means, your batch class has been executed, maybe the records has been processed successfully, or the few records, or all the, the records is unable to process successfully, so that, that you will see the result. And failed means any, any sort of the system the may problem which you face. So now let's see. So the we have seen the desired data here. Now let's check the log, and the data is that, after the USD we are able to fetch the value, and the as you have seen that what exactly we have made, we have changed the stage name to prospecting, and that make our trigger to be, to get fired, and then the whole batch class they perform the logic. So let's see the log now, so that so the batch class is here. So first is the job ID. So the job ID you are getting here. Then the in the Apex, in the second method, you have checked the async Apex job, that what the record it is holding. So you are getting the here ID, created date, created by, job type, batch Apex, Apex class ID, the total items processed 6, number of errors 0. Then records processed 59, records failed 0. Then all the records which has been, the process, we are storing into a list. So that too we are able to see here, and the size. Okay. So this is how we can make our batch Apex as a stateful, and this is the, the purpose of making the statement, the batch Apex stateful. In the next video, we will be learning how to schedule our the class, I mean the Apex scheduler, and how to, we will see how to schedule our batch Apex from the schedule by class, including the test classes. In case if you have any problem, then you can, put a comment on the video. The entire code you will be able to the entire code repository URL you will be able to see in the description. So in case if you require the reference of the code, you can get directly from there. And I have also, they provided the test class of the batch class, so you will not be able to, uh, you will not face any sort of a problem while writing the test class. Hope you will hope you have liked my video. uh, it's my request to please share and subscribe to my channel, so that the other people can also be benefited with my the hard work, as well as uh, I will also get motivation to make the videos more. My next approach will be to make the videos on the Lightning and the LWC, but I will be also sharing you some very important the topics like the the today's in the real time, we are all curious to integrate the Salesforce with social media. So all such videos you will be able to find in my channel very soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Stay safe.